an earlier session we created weld points or imported weld points from the CAD geometry. In this next exercise I'm going to show how we can assign resources to those tasks. So starting with our original model, we're now going to just quickly review the information that we already have. So if we go down to the yellow FANUC robot, we can see there that we have some data underneath it about the parts it contains, a controller which we'll see later, and the devices mounted, which would be the weld gun. For spot welding activity, the first spot welding activity, we have 3 welds already defined, but no resource. There's nothing to actually accomplish those welding tasks. So that's what we're going to do now. The first step then is going to be to assign the resource to this spot welding task. So we'll select spot welding 1, and then we will now select the robot. And the process uses the resource to accomplish the task. Having done that, we can now check the data, and we see that we now have this robot assigned to this activity. The next thing we have to do is to create a task for the robot to perform. We'll just go across to the other menu bar and we'll select this particular activity, task. Oops, made a mistake, I've got the process selected in the tree, not the spot welding activity. So let's just correct that. I'll choose spot welding 1 and then that should accomplish the task. It knows that the welding is going to be accomplished by the attached resource, which is the S420 robot. And then we see a robot task with the welds that need to be performed. The next step will be to position the robot, or the tool center point of the weld gun attached to the robot, onto the component geometry. Now there's a lot of geometry in the view here, and I just want to clear it up by just hiding some of the geometry. So I'll just hide the station, just so it doesn't confuse us. And then I want to focus in on the area where the welds will be performed. So let's just manipulate using the navigation tools. Let's reframe on the A pillar. I can't remember if the welds are on the A pillar alone or on the product as a whole, so let's just select that, and now we're ready to pick up the welds. At the moment I can't see them, so I need to switch the welds on. So now we're going to just reveal these weld details. So I'll go into the menu bar here and we'll switch these welds, select them all, and then display them. There we can see them. 3 welds, weld 1, 3 and 5. So now I'm going to jog the robot by snapping the tool center point of the robot onto each weld in turn, each tag point. So I just drag that, it's a bit fiddly. I'll release that there, and as soon as I manipulate the compass, the robot will use its kinematics to move into a position where the alignment of the tool center point and the definition of the tag point are in synchronization. And I can then move the robot around by manipulating the compass, and there are many ways I can do this. Let's move it on to weld point 3 now, if I can find it. There's weld point 3, I think. I can't quite see the compass, so I'm looking for the little end of the compass where I can move it. Now, it hasn't been able to resolve the kinematics successfully to go from weld point 1 to weld point 3. So I'm just going to return to the home position and now try it again, where the robot should have a clear path to approach the weld point. Once again, I'll just drag that down onto weld point 3. I can find it, it's about there, and I can drop that down when I manipulate the compass. Let's just give that a tickle, and there we go. It's not perfect, we can move it around to suit, but one thing I'd like to draw your attention to is the fact we've got these red lines here, because I've now switched collision detection on, and it's showing that there are some collisions between, in this case, the geometry of the part, the product itself, and the weld gun. So I can actually manipulate the geometry of the alignment of the joints to avoid that conflict. I'm not showing the station, but I can just assure you that there are many conflicts that will occur if I show the station. If I unhide the station, there'll be lots of conflicts. And these need to be resolved, which we can look at later on.